What's good, y'all? Sixth element of hip hop. Y'all know what it is. I'm your host, Reno Noir. We got a special guest today, and I can't wait for him to show up here. And of course, Stu Dog is our co-host. He'll be popping in here any second now. Let me get this thing sent out to my homie right here, Ed at endofzed.com. Boom. Sixth element, baby. All right, now let's see if this. All right, y'all. So we got the host, we got the creator. Refresh your inbox. We got the creator of End of ZED. Okay, y'all are like, what's End of ZED? Y'all might be like, what's End of ZED? End of ZED. Okay, first of all, I'm gonna let my man that created End of ZED break it down for y'all because he's about to pull in here any second now. Shout out to my man Wepa, our Mega Comic Crusaders. Chilling. Corey, salute. What's good? You already know Diddy in the party, you know what I'm saying? The feds and Diddy, so much lube, so many bottles of lube. What's good, my man? Salute, Eddie. What's good, Eddie?
Man, Reno, oh my gosh, I've been waiting for this day for the longest time, man. I am here.
Yeah,
and I'm staying. I'm here and I'm staying.
That's what's up. Yeah, man, we've been excited for this one too, man.
Yeah, absolutely. What a trip, man. Today, I tell you, it was my first day of coming out. And basically, I've been on since like 11 this morning. So
I was gonna say, you're making the rounds, doing the talk show circuit.
Yes. I just came from Al Mega, and he mentioned some great things about you, bro. Man, he is.
Oh yeah,
he certainly appreciates you, and I do too, man. Good to be here.
Absolutely, man. That's the homie right there, Al Mega, man. That's my guy right there, man. That's Unc.
Yeah, Al. He brought me back, man. He brought me back with some great stories. He's Puerto Rican at heart, man. Puerto Rican with passion, and he loves his culture. And we're talking food and music. Yeah, man. He's an inspiration, man.
Word is bond. Y'all got that Boricua. You Puerto Rican too?
No. South American.
Okay.
I wish I was Puerto Rican. I wish I was Boricua, man. It's like I was telling him. It's like, man, they love their culture, man. They love their flags and their culture and their food and their music. It's really nice that, they can, really, appreciate where they come from and have a passion for it. Always appreciated by all the Puerto Ricans that I know, including one of my best friends who's Puerto Rican. So.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Yeah, I had one of my best friends, I called him my brother, my hermano, when I was a kid. Yeah, growing up was Puerto Rican from Chicago.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Al Mega, that's the homie. That's the Unc.
So he actually came up with a good idea. He's like, I was telling him, we were thinking about doing like collaboration between shows and stuff. And he was with it. He was like, why don't we do it like around the middle to the end of your campaign? Maybe get one of my artists from Brazil on, and then we could do it from there. So it's okay. I'll pass it by Reno to see what we got. So.
Man, I'm super down. Always down with a collab. And I was thinking about that too. I mean, it was kind of hard to get anything together for this show, but absolutely, man. Definitely.
No, there he is. Collabo, I'm down, brother. All right.
Absolutely. So we just waiting on my homeboy, my co-host Stu Dog to pop in here. Yep. But yeah, man, we can go ahead and get it kicked off, man. I mean, there's as a gazillion questions I want to know about this comic, man. End of ZED is the coolest concept. I mean, from what I gather, you've got there's a robot that crash lands on Earth in the Bronx in the 1980s, around the birth of hip hop, and has to. But man, I want you to break it down, man. Tell us about Ed, man.
Well, before I tell you that, Reno, though, firstly, I want to thank you for your support, man. Everywhere I turn, man, you've always been pushing this. It's something that meant a lot to you, and that means a lot to me. So really, Reno, first and foremost, thank you very much for that. It's a story that I really think has to be
Yeah,
told.
I agree.
And it's a different kind of indie comic too. It's a different kind of, it's not really your capes and tights kind of story. It's something that's
Right.
not only historical, but certainly shows you the power of what hip hop can do. So
Mhm,
End of
mhm.
Zed's a story about a robot who crash lands, like you said, in the middle of the South Bronx in 1982. He has no memory and he's badly damaged, and he has to navigate probably through one of the most turbulent time in the city's history. Right, you had the
Right,
birth of the crack epidemic, which is super negative, but then
right.
you had the super positive side of the birth of hip hop, which, as we know, brought new music, brought new art, brought new fashion, brought all that. So he has to uncover his origins and really what his purpose is with that in the background. So a lot of Zeds in me, and because they teach you to write what you know, and I know me, and so a lot of the connection of Zed is with me, and in particular my connection to New York and my
Mhm.
connection to hip hop. Yep.
And yeah, I was gonna ask you, like, what is your connection? Are you born in the Bronx? Are you from the Bronx, or
Nope, nope. Born in Westchester, but I had a step aunt who lived on the Lower East Side. So I would always go visit her in the summertime. And I tell you, Reno, it's a contrast when you're from the suburbs and then you go downtown. It is like that's where my love for the city really started. To
yeah?
see the way everyone, the vibe, the energy, and then at that point, being from the suburbs and coming in and hearing this new music called hip hop. At that point, it wasn't
Mhm.
even called hip hop, right? You're listening to
Right. No,
rap, and then I
right.
seen my first train I saw really just blew me away. And I
Yes.
wish to this day I know what it looks like in my head. I remember the shapes and the colors, but I wish I knew who actual writer was. Um,
Mhm.
because that I remember it was red. I remember it was red. It kind of bubble red. It could have. I'm hoping it was Scheme. Probably in my head it was one of the top writers, and
Yeah.
and it came and it gave me such an impact of like holy shit, man. It's like a calling. It was like a calling,
I
and
feel you.
so taking all that, making it part of my identity, and bringing it back, that's where the connection of New York and everything New York really stems from that. Stems from that.
Right. Right. And yeah, I mean, you in what I've seen so far, you don't mention a lot about hip hop in the in the teaser, in the trailers. In fact, I don't think you use the word hip hop at all.
Mhm.
You reference music,
Right.
but
Mhm.
is there a reason behind that?
Yeah, in the beginning, that's what you saw, and no doubt about it. And a
Mhm,
lot of that was
mhm,
calculated. It was to gain
mhm.
a broader audience. Because if I could be honest
Okay.
with you, when I came up with this concept and started telling people about it, they started telling me, "Oh wow, so it's like a hip hop movie. It's like a hip hop thing." And does he start getting on the mic and does he break dance as he fights people? They were making it very campy, and
Uh,
that is not what this is. This needed to be dark, and this needed to be real. So I
right,
knew let me get the general audience because at the end of the day, everything's derivative, right? I mean, it's a
right.
fish out of water story is basically
Yeah,
what it is, and
yeah.
it's in the backdrop of hip hop, which makes it very vibrant. So as time went on, it started to kind of feed people a little bit, and then as we're coming on now we have the base audience. Good, you dig it, you dig the first 5 pages. Well, yes, this is how he gets his powers, and this
Right.
is the environment that he's in. And so certainly it was calculated, and I think it was necessary because I think a lot of people, don't really, and this is what I appreciate about your show. They may not know the connections between hip hop and comics, and they need
Right.
something like this to kind of show them, and things like your show, that actually
Mhm,
shows them.
mhm.
So I'm part. I'm glad to be a part of that.
Oh yeah, man, definitely. And that's why, when I saw your comic, I mean, I think I saw it on Instagram first, and my kind of antennas are always up looking for any hip hop comics and any new indie creators, and any hip hop, because hip hop, well, I said comics has always really been a part of hip hop. Superheroes, just the
Yep.
whole motif of it, period, has always been a part of hip hop since the beginning. And but I think, like you said, it kind of goes unsaid.
Correct.
No one really mentions it, and you have the fan base of hip hop who aren't usually typically comic fans, but
Correct.
the practitioners of hip hop, the MCs, the DJs, the
Correct.
producers, they're all comic nerds.
Correct. Big time.
What's that about?
Big time.
So yeah, so like I like to bring the hip hop fandom and let them know, like, this is what these rappers that you love are talking about.
Well, that's why I tell you, my meeting with DMC was probably one of the most profound things that happened to me in this journey because we really I got to show him the first 5 pages, and then I started showing him the rest of it. And as he's going through it, again, he also mentioned the significance of the fact that this is a serious piece. There is no one, doing anything campy or corny in that effect, And he, when he turned to me, said, "Listen, this is really important, man. This is really important for hip hop." That's what made me kind of my eyes really open up and see exactly what he's talking about. Because I did you see his DMC comic, man? That is beyond
Yeah.
dope, and it's him, and it's him. So yeah, I think
Right.
that gave me the power to carry on to see what happens in this Kickstarter and this new journey that I'm on. This new journey that I'm
That
on.
yeah, that was dope, man, that you got to meet him, man. Did you guys chop it up and talk about like how did he feel about Ed or
Yeah,
Zed?
yeah,
Sorry.
no, well, he asked a lot of questions, which was great. He asked about, his how he looks, his character design. He talked about the city and how we opened it up. Because if in the first 5 pages that I give you, you see him that he lands, you see like the towers in the background, as it goes through. So you set the tempo like right away. So he
Right.
dug that. But what he dug the most was I showed him a little bit more than what I normally didn't show people is how Zed really gets his powers. And so I'll let one little spoiler come out now. A lot of Zed is
Yeah.
like is in me. When you grow up, there's a
Right.
lot of holes that you may have in your life. Some people may be economically, some people may have issues at home, some people may physically have issues. So we have these
Right.
holes that need to be filled. And in my case, thank goodness, it was the holes of hip hop and music that filled those holes, and graffiti with art. And so that's exactly what happens with this robot. He's badly damaged. He's got no memory, and these things that are going to heal him are coming from the power of hip hop. And the first one that he saw was when I showed him a scene of the block party and
Ah,
how the block party, how it transforms and kind of changes him. And then we could take it from there.
so he
So he,
gets the he
Mhm.
gets inspired by hip hop. He gets inspired by what he's seeing, or like,
he yeah. So in the block party scene, he sees the DJ first of all, okay, and when he sees the DJ, he notices that it's got a helmet like his. He sees just a
mm,
shadow of like this big thing, and he looks at it and he
oh,
goes, "Oh man, I know what I'm here for. I'm here to rescue this dude from
the
this thing."
fro and the
Right,
headphones.
that's my mission.
Nice.
So as he looks closer, though,
Yeah,
it's not a helmet. It
that's
is
dope.
actually my man's afro. And then now he's got a computer. This is interesting about Zed. He's got a computer that, hey, what's going on, Stu? How you doing, man?
What's up, man? What's going on?
All right. So he has this computer on him that looks at things and tells him what he's seeing. It translates what it's seeing. So in that scene, for example, he sees it and his computer tells him this is a DJ and their job is to do X, Y, Z. And I don't want to get no more out, but then he takes it on.
Man.
On the first five
Oh,
pages, for example, though, with one of the first things he sees a human, right? And I'm not giving
right,
anything
right,
away here.
right.
He's in a phone booth, and this guy's like a crackhead, and he sees him, and his computer goes over and says, "This is a human. They're the dominant species on this planet.
Oh,
They're the
Right.
ones that matters, right?" And so when it sees that, remember, Zed's got no memory, so he's grabbing all this information from this computer, and then
Right.
he sees a drug deal go down. So he sees the money, and he scans over the money, and his computer tells him this is currency. This is what people do to keep themselves alive or trade. And then he
Right.
hones in on the crack vial, and it tells him this is drugs. People use it to get hallucinated. And so now, and Zed starts saying to himself, "Oh my gosh, what's this guy doing selling it to him? Why is he? What kind of humans into this money thing? Must be important." And then he follows him into a crack house, and then because he can't see well, it goes into that. You're on mute.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay.
mm.
So the computer is very important to it because really at the end of the day, you know what this is, Reno and Stu? This is a story about programming, is what it comes down to.
Mm,
Because what I wanted to make a point was is that you think about everything that we've learned through life, right? When we're little, our parents teach us our world around us. Like, look at this person, look at this thing here.
right.
They define things for us. And as little kids, we have to take it. And then eventually the media takes over and the media goes, okay, you know what you're seeing here? This is this is this. But sometime in life, we have to make our own decisions on what we see. And so that's what this whole Z thing's about. It's about programming. He sees this thing that his computer tells him it is, but through his experiences, he starts going, wow, yeah, no, this place is messed up, man. These humans selling drugs to each other. But then he sees a block party and he sees the energy and he sees what this music does to people and it actually heals his ears. He goes, wait a minute, there's some good shit here too. So
Mm,
that's ultimately what this is. That's the backdrop. and Zed's gonna have to navigate through this, and he's gonna find out he's got an origin here, and he's got a purpose, and then hopefully we get to the four issues. You'll be able to see what happens at the end, because really the middle to the end is just amazing too, man. So
Wow.
think Wild Robot. You know that movie Wild Robot? Think Wild
Yeah.
Robot meets the Warriors. That's it. Wild Robot
wow.
meets the Warriors with the time ticking and him
Right.
having to go someplace. Him having to get somewhere at the end of the day.
Oh man, Stu, I don't know if you heard if you heard what the interview before you got in. But man, this comic that he's creating is dope. It's called End of Zed, and it's about a robot that crash lands on Earth in the Bronx in the 80s around the birth of hip hop. But he's damaged, and he's like trying to analyze the world as he's like coming to, and he's like analyzing everything, and he's coming across people, and he's looking at the Bronx and the crack vials and the the dope dealers and all this, and then like he said, man, he comes across hip hop. He sees the block party. Here's the music. Sees dude with the fro and the headset on, but he thinks it's a robot head like his. He sees the silhouette. Oh man, God, like,
and he thinks
man.
he's there at that point to save him. Like, oh, I know what I'm here for. I got to save this.
Right.
Dude. That's why I'm here. But as he gets closer, it's like, wait a minute, and then he sees the DJ with the afro. Then that's the block party, and then that's really his first really connection with music. So yeah, no, it's dope. A lot of this is in me, man. A lot of this story is in me. I can't tell you the gaps that hip hop music fills for me in life. I can't tell you, the tremendous gap of what graffiti art did for me and how it filled in for me, to see my vision better. And then, of course, fashion, man. I can't tell you, dudes, how when I wear a pair of Adidas, of how much it empowers me. And I was telling this to D when I saw him over the weekend, to DMC. I said, when I wear Adidas, there is a certain bravado that comes over me, man. I just get younger and I get strong. It sounds corny and people can laugh on it as much as they want, but how many things in life do you have that are like that? And the same thing with jams too. Certain jams you listen to that they make you feel young and strong, and that's the power of hip hop. I hate to say it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, yeah. I mean, kicks, whether it's Adidas or the music itself or what, hip hop always fills you with that, and it's a youthful culture. I mean, hip hop rap itself is a young man's, it's a competitive, so it's always gonna bring you back to that vibe, man. And I'll never, hip hop will always be, 1/3 of, you know what I mean? Like that's I'm half made up of hip hop.
What was the first jam that did it for you, or whether it's a jam or album, or like what was it that you heard and you said to yourself, "Holy shit, this is different than what I'm used to," Yeah,
it's got to be. It's got to be Run DMC when I'm 4 years old.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I was 4 or 5 years old when my older cousins, they were 4 or 5 years older than me. So they're 8, 9, 10 years old, and they're just first starting to get. And I'm like feeding off what they're as a little kid, like my first memories, man. But growing up, like my first. It's funny. My first tape that I owned, that was my first tape, was Cool Mo D.
Oh wow! All right.
Wild Wild West. 50 Ways, all of that.
Nice.
Yes. Eric B. and Rakim. All of that.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Big Daddy Kane.
Yeah. What about you, Stu? What was that first jam that you remember hearing and you say to yourself, "Holy cow, man! Now this is different, man. There's something about this one,
Davey D.
Oh wow! Nice, man.
Yeah, that was when I heard that. It was it for me, man. Like that, and then just I mean, right after that, I heard the Fat Boys' first album. That really hooked me. That really hooked me.
Nice.
Yeah,
man.
and then I've been hooked up.
I was one of Fat Boys too.
Nice, man. All right. Well, that's the power of music. That's what I'm trying to translate here through this comic. He could have landed in the disco era, and maybe disco could have did it for him. But in my case, it was certainly hip hop. Certainly hip hop.
See, no, because no, disco. It's not a culture.
Okay,
it's a music genre, and it's dead. It died. It came and it went.
Great.
Hip hop came and it built up and it snowballed and it's still getting bigger.
Yeah.
from like the 70s, early 70s, bro, until 2024, it's still snowballing and just becoming the size of the earth. It's a global phenomenon. It's a global culture. It's absolutely transcended the entire planet. Every single country has a hip hop culture in it, a hip hop scene. I don't care where it is. I don't care, whether it's Norway or South America or China, or
Yeah.
it's
Word.
everywhere.
Yeah, no doubt.
Everywhere, and it's in everything. It's in every single form of media, every single thing you can imagine. Hip hop has an effect, even politics.
Right.
What do you think? Obama hanging out with Jay-Z? Forget about it. It's bro.
Yeah,
It's not. It's way past music.
well, you know, one thing I remember though, I remember having to fight the good fight with it. I remember again coming back to the suburbs, listening to rap music, one of the first around me. People are like, "How can you listen to that garbage, man? They're not even playing instruments." I remember that's the big one I
Right.
heard. They're not
Right.
even. They're just talking. They're not even singing and stuff like that. And I guarantee you, you fast forward right now, those people that did that to me and chastised me, they're either killing hip hop themselves, but I'm very well sure their kids are. I'll tell you that right now. I'm very sure they're killing, Nas and everyone, So you're right.
Mhm.
It is beyond, and I don't think anyone knew that hip hop would go this far. Because at that
No.
stage, again, Reno, man, when I looked around, there's only a couple of cats that were kind of listening to it from the very, very beginning. But now, if you look at exactly like you said, the influence is everywhere. I mean,
Never
you're
thought that
hearing
hip hop would make it this far.
I mean, you're hearing
Nobody
break
did.
beats in country songs now. I mean, come on, you're hearing break beats in country songs. So yeah,
Nah, that's a fact. Obama dropped the lyrics the other day. Yeah, I mean, country. It's in country, bro. It's in everything. I mean, look at the hip hop. Look at the country rappers. You
yeah,
got Kid Rocks and
yeah. True. Hmm.
Yellow
Yep.
Wolf and all of this guys that would have been probably country artists.
Sure.
Don't forget
And
Limp Bizkit. You got rap rock. Everybody,
Yeah. That's it.
I mean, that's
That's it.
that's a whole nother, it's genres. I mean, yeah, it's blended and mixed, and you got heavy metal rappers, and
Yeah.
but that's the,
rap
that's
and
the
rock,
rap part.
rap and rock went. But you know what? Rap and rock went hand in hand from the
Well,
start.
hip hop is
You gotta
definitely rock.
remember. You gotta
Yeah,
remember we were making. Yeah, we were making hip hop
F
beats off of
Cam.
break beats, and they were sampling Led
Hmm.
Zeppelin, and you know what I mean.
That's a good point. Yeah,
Tears for
that's
Fears.
right.
Like we were
Yeah.
sampling a lot of Led Zeppelin. In the beginning they
Yep.
sampled a lot of Led Zeppelin. I
That's a
mean, it
good
was a
point.
lot. And then we hit James Brown real hard. And then in the '90s, because I remember sampling is something that's real. You got to be real talented to make a beat, just to sample and make a beat. You got to have some serious talent
Yeah.
because to put that together and to see how they do it, you're like, damn, you made a beat off of that, and the sound might only be maybe 3 seconds. But to be honest with you, that's what hip hop is. It sounds. I
Mhm.
think nowadays they a lot of producers forgotten that and they're starting to come back to it. But it was all about sounds. Wherever you could get sounds from, you made beats from sounds. I don't care if it was water dripping,
Mhm.
snowfall, the wind blowing. Like you made beats
Right.
off of whatever you could find. Guys would be they'd be in the basement banging on pipes, and they would incorporate that in. You listen to some of the early mixtapes when it came to hip hop, there was no rapping. It was just the DJ mixing all those sounds together, making beats, making
Sure.
stuff you could dance to.
Sure.
That's what it was us, man.
Yes, sir.
It just evolved. Yeah, the lyrics got better. Everybody's lyrics evolved and the beat making evolved.
Sure.
You
Check
know?
this out. This is Led Zeppelin.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's boom bap.
That's like that. Yep.
That's been sampled plenty of times.
Now
Run
listen.
DMC, here we
Mhm.
go by Run DMC. That's Led Zeppelin.
Tribe
I got the
just got
big
inducted.
feet. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I
Tribe
seen that.
just
I was
got
watching that today. Good looking on that Corey Edgy. Yeah, they need it, man.
good
They
looking on
deserve it.
that.
They are
I
pioneers,
mean,
man. Yeah, they
Rock and
I
Roll
forgot
Hall
all
of
about
Fame,
it.
period, doing hip
Yeah.
hop artists. That tells
Yeah.
you a lot right there. You got hip hop artists being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That's how hard
Yeah. There you
hip hop
go.
is.
Good point, Reno. Yeah. Good point.
Imagine in the 90s or 80s that happening. It would
Yeah.
never happen. Rock and
That'd be
roll people would
sacrilegious.
never. Rap
Yeah,
isn't
man.
music.
Well,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
they one thing I listened to, I think it was when LL got inducted. Um the whoever the head of the rock and roll, he made a good point. He said people think because it say rock and roll that's all we induct. He was like, no. He was like, we induct all prolific artists who had to have. He said the thing with rock and roll, all the way, you have to
That's
have
how
a
it developed.
profound, yeah, you got to have a profound like grasp on music that your music alone by yourself changed the world somehow. Like it somehow had an impact on the whole world and over a certain amount of time. He said that's how. He said it's not just for rock and roll. Just because it said rock and roll, don't mean that's all it's for. He said we induct every, but he did admit that when rap came out, he said I never thought
Wow.
we would
There
induct
you go. Yeah.
anybody from hip hop. But he said
Glad he
when we
admitted it
looking
because I
at
know.
these artists, yeah, no, he broke it down because a lot, you know how social media now is. People get on there and you got the keyboard gangsters. Oh, why is this rap guy in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? And he
Right.
broke it down. He said because he said it's not just for rock and roll, it's for
Right.
all music.
Impact
He
thing.
said, but
Mm.
he said the difference is if your music had a profound effect on the whole world, like I mean everybody knew you were.
Yes, sir.
And he said, and you got to have longevity, and you got to be like a pioneer in that genre. He was like, you get inducted. That's just what it is. Because when Public Enemy got inducted, you know, their music is, even though it's rap, you know, the way they make their beats and all that, they got a formula.
Yeah,
And
man.
Chuck D
Yeah.
says,
Yeah.
Chuck D says it doesn't work. If anybody is missing from that formula where Public Enemy makes music, it don't work. He said, I got to do it with Flav. Flav got to have, and we got to have the Bomb Squad.
Yep.
He said, if any of that is
Hank
missing,
Shockley, right? Hank Shockley.
yeah,
Yeah, man.
yeah,
This
yeah.
ain't
Hank
all of
Shockley,
them.
yeah. He said, if any of that is missing, we're done.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this ain't all of them, but they got DJ Kool Herc in there. They got
Yeah,
Missy
Kool Herc's
Elliott
in
in there. They got
Yeah.
Eminem. They got Jay-Z. They got LL. Of course, they got Biggie. They got Pac. They got NWA, Public Enemy, Beastie Boys, Run DMC, and Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah.
That's like what, 10 at least.
That's 10 right
Yeah.
there.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Well,
And
let me ask you guys this though, right? So I read an article once. It was fascinating. It talks about that, like when you're in your early 30s, like 32, that like when you're 32, like 18% of people will continue to listen to new music, but the rest of the 78% will not listen to new music anymore. Did you find
That's
that
true.
in your hip hop? Did you stop listening to hip hop in the sense of that you still went to the old jams instead? And like, what do you think of the newer forms like drill rap and things like that? Like, would you say that's part of your profile that as you got in your 30s, you kind of fell off with listening to newer hip hop artists?
I think around it might be. I mean, I'm definitely into Kendrick Lamar, you know, some of them newer guys, but I fuck with dudes like XXXTentacion and Juice World and some of these newer cats like, you know, Trippie Redd.
Okay, so you continue then. All right. You continue.
Oh yeah,
all right,
bro. You know, but not to the extent that I stayed as passionate about the newer stuff.
Right.
But
So,
like Benny the Butcher, that's new, and that has me, you know, I'm passionate about that. But when I say newer stuff, I don't mean hip hop artists like Benny the Butcher that come out now still doing the music that we, you know, created in the 90s. I mean guys coming out doing this new stuff that some people might call mumble rap. They might call it different shit. Very unique, Lil Uzi Vert and stuff like that. I didn't get super passionate into that, but I absolutely figured out how to appreciate it. And it took some doing. It really, if it wasn't for my son, I guarantee you I would have disdain. I would have disdain for that shit. I would be like, fuck, what is that shit? That's not even hip hop. My son broke it down to me. He said, hip hop before was about lyrics. It was about, you know, the writing, right? And he says now it's about the vibe. And I'm like, so it took me a second to get what he meant. And he says, so when you hear a song, when we listen to a song, we're not listening for what is he saying? How dope did he flip that rhyme? We're just like, what does this song make me feel? Do I feel good when I listen to it? Does it make me bop? And you know, that's what they try to create. So they'll get on there and they'll just make noises and shit. Really, they're just fucking, you know, making a vibe. They're trying to create a vibe. And it's like, okay, so I get that. You know, I can appreciate it. Some of it sounds good. Some of it I can actually bump to. But nah, I mean, there. I know that there are still rappers that are still doing hip hop. They're still doing this music, the golden age hip hop, the '90s music. Like I said, Benny the Butcher, that whole crew, Rock Marciano and all of these guys like that.
So,
Um,
so what are you saying, Reno? Then that you'll probably never see another Wu Tang. You'll never see another group
well,
that
okay,
will you will connect to like you did. Let's say Wu Tang.
I'll explain that. And here's how this works, guys.
Mhm.
There'll never be another Wu-Tang. Let's get that out of the way. Let's move
Right.
that. There'll never be another Wu-Tang, period. They did something that can't be replicated. It was
Okay.
lightning in a bottle. It's
Okay.
not their rap skills. It's everything about Wu-Tang that made Wu-Tang Wu-Tang.
Yeah.
It's not just the rappers. So it's far beyond that. It can't be recreated. But as far as it, someone creating something new that still sounds like hip hop or still sounds like that, sure, that can be done. But I think that when you're a teenager, I think when you're around a certain age, whatever music is popular at that time or whatever is going on right then, or what, fuck that, let me retract that. When you're at
Okay.
that age, whatever music you're into at that age, that's the shit that hits you, because it's an age.
Correct.
It's like when you're
Correct.
16, 17, 18,
Yep.
19. Like there's something that happens during that time that will never happen to you again. Even if the music
That's
is
a good
just
point.
as good, just as dope. I don't
Good
know,
point.
man. It's something about that
Good point.
age.
Yeah. Good point. Good point.
Because
That- that's
look how our parents, they're like, that's, they love what they love and they can't get our shit. And their parents, it was the same thing. They told me how my dad told me how his parents didn't like his music. And
right.
and before that, and before it
Of course.
goes on, and then
Mhm.
I've got a son, and I'm seeing the same fucking thing. I never thought it could happen. I thought hip hop is hip hop. My son, I raised him on hip hop. I raised him on Tupac, Biggie, Nas, Wu-Tang. I thought, whatever comes, there's no way it's gonna be beyond me. And I'm telling you, some of the shit they're coming up with now, I can't get. I don't
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah.
But I appreciate it. But I don't get it, and I think it's because of that age, man. I think if something happens to your brain when you hit a certain age, it stops developing.
Correct. Yep. Well, another thing too, though, Reno, I think it's not needed, and let me explain what I mean by that. I think there's certain stages in hip hop when it was really needed. Like when I
Yeah.
heard Public Enemy, like one of my favorite albums was "Fear of a Black Planet," right? When
Right.
that came out,
I
that
think that was
came
the
out
best.
at
I think that was the best album. I think that was
Stu.
the
It
best
was,
album they brought
man.
out.
I mean, to my
Yeah.
day, one of my top 3 albums, and
It is.
it was at the right place at the
Right.
right time
At the
when
right
hip hop
time.
was
Yep.
needed and certain music was needed. We needed to hear those things from Chuck.
And so you feel like now they can just have fun because we've done all that.
Correct. And I don't think it's needed. I think there's so much computer stuff they do. They're on the phone, like the younger generation, there's so much that they can fill their worlds with that's already answering things for them. So hip hop in that sense isn't needed like it was in certain cases. Now, mind you, listen, I preface this by all saying that I'm not saying it's better. I would never say, oh, my era was better than yours. I'm
No,
not into all that.
because
And I
you
tell
were
you
at
why.
that
because
age.
Correct. It's exactly what you said, Reno. And it's like your boy. Your boy's listening to something. You may not connect to it like you did back in your day, but you know how it makes them feel. And why would you ever want to take away that from anybody? If they feel good, it makes them feel empowered. It makes them feel good. More power to you, man. Listen to it as much as you want. So, yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with what's needed at the right time. I don't think it's needed now at this stage. Who knows if our country gets worse as time goes on, we may need a revolution. Actually, I was thinking that was going to happen with COVID. I thought because COVID got us all thinking and we were sheltered and we were kind of in a real negative space. I thought like some kind of new music would come out, or like some kind of new style would come out. And
I
it
think it
didn't
did.
happen.
I
Yeah.
think it did.
Okay, and what is it, Reno? What is it?
No,
Well, I think some of this new, the new rappers, the new music.
Okay. Okay. All right.
And I'll tell you why.
I
I'll tell
mean,
you why. And I'm gonna build on this. I'm gonna build on what Corey said, and I'm gonna build on what I'm talking about too. Because what Corey's talking about here, there was regions. Every region had a sound.
Yeah, Corey's right. Yeah.
Yeah. But then social media and the internet melted those regions away. So now the sound is all the same. And then
Okay.
you go, oh, why these dudes all sound the same? They all have the same inspiration. Guys in New York used to be inspired by New York rappers. Guys in West Coast inspired by West Coast rappers, and so they had their sound. Guys in the South were inspired by Southern rappers. They had their sound. And yeah, they borrowed from everywhere else, but when social media eliminated the regions and made everybody the same, because now everybody's communicating with each other. There's no barriers. Like, it took a while for you to hear what was going on the West Coast in Florida or in New York from Chicago or whatever.
Nice. Yeah.
Now with the
Okay.
internet. So the second thing that what I want to build on that is, now because of that, also because of social media, you have eliminated the need for shopping your demo and your 8x10. You've eliminated the need to get signed by a label. They've eliminated the music industry basically, and so now any kid with a phone can make a beat, record his song, and post it for millions to hear from his bedroom in 10 minutes. How do you compete with that? How do you instill passion? And that's another thing. The rappers today don't have passion about it because they didn't have to struggle to get their music heard.
Yes, sir.
We had to go through hell and high water for our music to get heard. But now, like I said, it's a press of a button, and if that shit's bumping, TikTok gonna catch it. It's a wrap.
Right.
It's a wrap. So
Okay. Nice, man. All right.
that's why the music it reflect. Hip hop has always reflected its environment.
Right.
So you can't get mad at the hip hop today because it reflects its environment. It's part of its social media.
Well put. Okay.
It's the social media rap. You can call it what you want, mumble rap. It's social media rap. It's the social media era rap, and that's what we created: a regionless, mono sound. But the guys do have identity. I'm not gonna say that they're all completely void of identity. Extentacion was very different than Juice World, is very different than Trippie Redd, is very different than Lil Uzi Vert. Like, but they all are inspired by Lil Wayne.
Oh, okay.
They're all, because Lil Wayne blew up at a time when Gen Z was at an age, or these rappers now was at an age when that was their Jay-Z. Lil Wayne was their Wu-Tang.
Okay.
You feel me? So now it's inevitable that the guys that are inspired by Lil Wayne are going to dress like kind of punk rock.
Right.
And they're going to be inspired. But then you lost the regions. And I'm not, listen, this is not, it's a fact. It's not a tragedy necessarily, and it's not a good thing necessarily. It's just is what it is.
Yeah. Yep.
But what are we gonna do? I mean, Corey, Stu Dog, how you feel?
Change is inevitable, so things are gonna change. R&B don't sound the same. You got neo soul now, that's what they call it. That's different than regular R&B. But rap went through the same thing. But the difference with rap was the industry. Me personally, I think the industry is kind of winning right now. Whereas when we were all coming up, the artists the artists controlled the industry. They put out the music they wanted to put out, and if they couldn't put it out, they found
it's the opposite. Put
it out. They did.
Now the artist controls the industry. Now the artist can do whatever they want. Before, the industry told the artist what to put out, right? What you had to do. Artists had no control back in the day. Now they got too much control. You wouldn't you say? Because now they can do whatever they want.
Nah, because all right, I listen to DJ Muggs, Soul Assassins, right? Muggs has what Muggs would do is every so often he comes to New York, he finds the hottest
old guy, rappers. Bro. That's the old guy though.
DJ Muggs will find the hottest underground rappers. He'll come to New York. He'll ask her, who's the hottest underground rappers?
Okay.
And then he'll put them out. He'll put them out on his Soul Assassins link. Doesn't matter how old he is because Muggs don't rap. He just make beats. So what he is we have like when you go around the United States, right?
I'm talking about how he puts
producers.
Music out.
We have producers
out with their phone. They don't need a Muggs.
I mean, yeah, they do, and they don't need Muggs. But if you want to be a rapper, let's just keep it a buck. You want to be a rapper? I don't give a damn who you are. And DJ Premier call you up and be like, "Hey Reno, man, listen, I heard this joint you put out, man. Listen, I got this beat I laid down. I want you to get on it. All right, now you know you getting somewhere because
Right.
DJ Premier called you. I don't give a damn how old you are. I don't give a damn what generation you from. When DJ Premier call your name, you know you're doing something. When
If
Right.
DJ
DJ
Muggs call your
Premier
name,
called
you
one
know
of
you're
these
doing
rappers
something.
today, if DJ
When you
Premier called one of the rappers that is bumping these mumble rappers today, they would ignore him, bro. They wouldn't care. They would
I
be like,
don't
"Who
think
is
so.
this?" I
I don't
promise
think
you,
so.
bro. I
I
promise
don't
you.
think so. I mean,
Trust
listen,
me,
it's
they
just a
do
matter of
not
opinion.
respect us. They do not respect our generation. They don't respect our music. They don't respect DJ Premier. They do not respect hip hop at all. They have no respect for previous hip hop because
I
we
like
have
hip
shit
hop
on
just to
them
listen.
so
I like
bad.
hip hop. Listen, I just like hip hop and whatever the fuck get put out that I like, I listen to, and whatever the fuck I don't like, I don't listen to. If something
Yeah.
corny, I'm just gonna say it's corny. That's how I get down. If I
Yeah,
like it, I like it. If I don't, I don't. I don't care about the politics no more. I don't care about it. I own a music collection. So like I say it all the time. If you don't own a music collection, I don't want to talk music with nobody that don't physically own any physical media in a music collection or
Yeah.
whatever. I really don't care. That's how I get down. That's how I'm hardcore hip hop. I'm bump your head against the wall, jumping up and down, stage diving hip hop. That's what I'm all about. That's what I've always been about. If it don't make me bob my head and them lyrics ain't bumping and that beat, first of all, that beat ain't bumping, I don't want to hear it. I don't even care what you got to say. If the beat
Well,
ain't
listen, man.
bumping, you can keep it
that's our
moving.
generation.
Look,
That's how
That's
I
our
get down.
generation.
That's how I
That's
well,
our
get
listen,
down.
generation.
And that's
I,
right. And that's
That's
how I
us.
figured.
That's
That's
how
how I
we
feel
get
hip
down.
hop is. That's how I feel hip hop is to me. Because I'm a b-boy. I'm a real hip hopper. I've been doing
yeah.
it since day one. So like now when my sons come to me and they talk about Trippie Redd, like my
Yeah.
one son is in the trap. My oldest son, he loved trap music.
Mhm.
I give him credit. Some I can listen to some of it. I
Okay.
cannot lie and say I can't because it's bumping. But
Right.
some of that stuff, I'll be like, bruh, that's corny. No, it ain't that. It's corny. Like, don't. Now, if it's corny, it's just corny. Like
Yeah.
Wu. I don't like every song Wu Tang ever made, but I like a majority
Mhm.
of it.
Mhm.
But there's some songs I'll be like, now you can fast forward that. Put the other song on. You know what I mean? Like that's just how it is.
Well,
You don't have to like everything, and I think that's where it's at now with the fans. No matter what they put out, people just nod their heads like, oh yeah, yeah. It could be corny. Everybody in the room be like, yeah, yeah, yeah. I like that. If it's corny, it's corny. I'm gonna say it's corny. That's just how I get down.
well,
I
I
still listen
appreciate
to my
you.
old stuff.
Mhm.
I
There you
still listen
go.
to my 90s stuff. I DJ Muggs just dropped the album. I just got done listening to it a couple Monday, slamming. Uh, he got RLX on there. He got Mooch Moses on there. And Mooch Moses is dope. I can name about 20 rappers. I can name about 10 rappers right now. 20. And y'all be like, I ain't never heard of these guys. But I don't really care if everybody heard of them or not. They putting out good music. They putting out good music. I'm listening to it. I'm buying it. I'm putting it in my collection. I'm gonna listen to it wherever I want. That's just how I get down. You put out good music, I'm listening to it, man. That's just
Well,
it.
listen, this is what I appreciate about your passion here, man. Both of you guys and how you're talking about music because it means something to you. But what I'm wondering is, at the end of the day, I don't think music, in a sense, means that much to certain younger ones as it does to us. You know, we are connected to the history of it, to the experience, and it's personal. Someone says something about a group or a jam that we like, and we disagree. The passion will come out. I don't know if there's that passionate connection anymore. I think, like you mentioned, Stu,
There
all these
isn't.
new people that are coming out, they may be talented and stuff like that, but I don't think there's that connection anymore. And back to my
Nah,
comment. That's
and I
why.
agree with no, I agree with you on that. I agree
Mhm,
with you on that, Eddie, because I just
mhm,
don't think they're some dudes are just and like Reno said, a lot of them are inspired by Little Wayne.
mhm,
And you gotta remember the difference with us was we might have been inspired by Run DMC, Grandmaster
right,
Cass, and all of them, but we
mhm.
came with our own styles because
Yeah,
you had to, because you couldn't come out sounding like Run DMC,
that's
because
a
people
good
be like,
point.
yo, you sound like well, like look at
Right,
perfect
right, good
example
point.
was what's my man name that went to jail was with Puffy. Oh man, what's my name?
Shine.
Shine.
He
The
Mhm.
sounded like
reason why
Biggie.
Shine never took off, he sounded like Biggie. Gorilla
Right, right.
Black was dope. Gorilla Black got dope lyrics, but he sounded like Biggie.
Right,
Nobody don't want to hear you sound like Biggie.
right.
You better change your voice. You better get voice synthesizer. You better do something. But
Yeah,
those
Black
two
Hayes
artists,
made a career out of sounding like Tupac,
yeah.
and it's
And
like
so did Crazy. That's why
Mhm.
Crazy never took off. That
get
was
no
down with
respect.
Master P's Camp. They never took off. Those guys were dope, but they sounded too much like you couldn't
Hip hop
sound
is
like
all
nobody
about
else.
originality. It always
Yeah.
So,
was always about originality.
so are you saying now though that they don't mind that they all sound alike?
No,
If we
they
can
don't.
keep it in
No,
short.
well,
Okay, there
no,
you
it's
go.
not.
Okay,
Well, listen, it's not them. It's the
okay.
listeners. See,
there you go.
we can sit
There
here
you
and
go.
argue and
Yeah.
talk about but it's the listeners you got to blame because that's what they listening to and they're accepting that.
Right.
Like when we came up, we wouldn't accept. We like, man, get out of here. I don't hear that. That joker sound like me. Oh, he bit Nas. We would not like Action Bronson. I was in a store one day and some dude had wrote on the board, Action Bronson is the best rapper alive. I said, Action Bronson bit Ghostface. That's why nobody really embraced him. He bit Ghostface's whole style. Ghostface even said it, and it's true. He even said it. Action Bronson even came out and said it. After a
Ghostface stepped
while,
to his ass too. Papa Wu stepped to
yeah,
his ass too. Papa
yeah,
Wu,
because he sounded like Ghost.
you
He
can't
rapped
do
like
that.
Ghost. You
Papa Wu
can't
was
do
gonna
that, bro.
whoop that dude's ass behind that shit. Like you would get
Yeah,
beat behind that shit back in the day. Now it's all
hey,
about
man.
like literally you're dope if you sound like the last dope dude.
Man, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what
Oh,
and that's the
what?
audience fault. That's not so
It's
much on
social
the
media. It's
rappers.
the kids. Yeah, the kids. Social media. The
That's
kids.
on the
The audience.
audience
Social
Yeah,
media
because the
audience.
audience is accepting
Yeah.
that. They
You're right.
accept that.
Yep. Because they're still buying the
And
music,
because
right? Yep. Mm-hmm.
right. And because they
Mm-hmm.
buy it, now the record company's gonna be like, well, that's gotta be hot. So at one point, you gotta remember if you didn't sound like Future and rap like Drake or rap like Drake and sound like Future, really wasn't getting too much. Like look at what's my man Panda? Remember when he came out? I heard a mixtape of him rapping before he changed his style to sound like Future. Bruh, he was nothing like that. I was like, yo, this is Panda? Like total night and day.
Mm-hmm.
Total night. Changed his whole style just to get on. It is what it is now, man. You can't listen. You can't hate it. All you gotta do, like I said, what's it? Don't hate the player, hate the game. That's
Mm-hmm.
just what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Listen, at
I
the end
try
of
to
the
I go underground. I just go underground now. I listen all underground. Now some stuff might come out that's above me. I'm like, oh, that's hot. You know, like the Migos. I like the Migos. I always thought the Migos was dope. I think me personally, I think that group right there, Migos, Drake, I had to say T.I. and them, they were the last of our generation of rappers. I'm gonna keep that a buck. Because after them, look what you went into. Juice World, Trippie Redd, uh what's my man name with all the gold, with all the colored hair. I mean, they were our last generation of rappers that were influenced by rappers that came out in the late 90s, early 2000s. And Lil Wayne,
Like J.
all of them.
Cole and Kendrick. Yeah, Cole,
Kendrick,
Kendrick.
yeah, Cole,
Cole.
Kendrick, all of them.
That was,
Yeah.
I mean, those guys, you know, Kendrick and Cole, those are like our little brothers, whereas the new generation is like our kids. So like Cole and Kendrick, that's kind of a middle, that's between us and the new guys. Because they're like I said, they're like our little brothers, our little, you know, siblings. And then this new generation is just like our children. It's completely different. But yeah, I fuck with them, you know, still heavy. But Eddie, man, break it down to us.
about what, music in general, or
I mean, no, I know you want to get a word in. Go ahead.
Yeah, no. I was just gonna mention, back to the comic. That's one of the reasons why,
Yeah.
like, and I asked you guys that. What was that jam that did it to you? And one of them was certainly Planet Rock by Soul Sonic Force. Like when I first heard that, it was like, I don't know where those instruments came from. How do you make music
my
sound
shit.
so futuristic?
No,
Yeah.
you just that's it. That is the first shit. That was Planet Rock. That was
there
the
you
first
go.
hit.
Exactly.
Planet Rock,
That was the
Beat
first
Street.
song that
Yeah.
set me off.
Yep. And
Don't
that's
forget
why.
Planet Rock
Don't forget Globe and WizKid. Don't forget Globe and
Yeah.
WizKid.
and
Don't forget
Apache
that.
Yep.
and Apache.
Yeah.
That's it. But
Yeah.
Planet Rock really plays a big part in the
Yeah,
comic.
Planet
too,
Rock,
that's
bro.
one of the first
That's-
jams that he hears, and it's kind of
Bro.
appropriate because he's from space, and but that exact feeling that he had,
Perfect.
it was exactly when I first heard it. Yeah. So no, that's what I just wanted to mention, man. Again, I appreciate you guys' passion for it. I do think, unfortunately, though, I think people are losing their passion for music, especially as they get, older. I have a daughter too, and I saw her at 18 and 19, where music was just an accessory. It was something that you put on in the background as you're getting ready. Like to us, it was different. To us, it meant something, and it gave us the power to do what we needed to do. So
My son really said that. He said, I don't think. He said he was just one day he was just looking at it because I was like I was going in. I was hip hop this and hip hop. He was just like, how is it that important to you?
There you go.
Like,
Yeah.
how are you that passionate about music like this? He's like, I don't get that. He's like, see, that's
'Cause
something
we were a part of it.
we don't understand that.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
We were a
that's
part of it.
exactly what I said, Stu.
Yeah.
I said, that's because
We're a
that
part
shit,
of it.
I was there, since the birth. And
That's it.
yeah,
Yeah, we're a
I
part of
helped
that, man.
develop it. I feel
We
like I helped
yeah,
build the shit, to be honest.
yeah.
Yeah,
You
yeah, yeah.
do.
Good point.
We
You
all
do.
had our, our
Good
stitch
point.
in the quilt of hip hop.
Yes, sir.
No, we do. And you and like I said, when you break it down and you look at music now, it's got to change. It's going to change. It's going to be different than what even the stuff now that my kids are listening to now is going to be different than what my grandkids are going to be listening to.
Correct.
So it's never going to be. Nobody's ever going to win. And I keep telling my kids the same thing. Soon you're going to be that old guy listening to that music. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like you're going to
Right.
be, and then like I got a 14-year-old, and then I got two oldest. I got a 29 and 30-year-old, and I be
Okay.
telling them like, listen, soon he's going to be the stuff the 14-year-old's going to be listening to. He's going to be saying like, that's old. The stuff
Right.
y'all listen, and y'all going to be like, nah, this is the best music ever. This is what it
Yeah.
is, and he's going to
Yeah.
be looking at y'all like, really? Like I'm really like I said because that's it has to change. It has to move on. It has to just evolve.
Yeah.
And right now, it evolved into we don't have any bass drum beats anymore. And Rock
Mm.
Marciano started that where he made those beats that didn't have any drums in it. It was
Mhm.
just a beat, and guys are rapping off of it. And now that's taken over a lot. Like
Mhm.
you see a lot more guys coming out with songs like that, and they're
Mhm.
rapping to it. No drums. You be like, damn, where the drums at? No, nothing. Maybe a little bass, maybe a little bass a little bass line,
Okay.
but no drums. He
Okay.
started that.
Wow. Okay.
Kanye West started a thing where you might hear something speeded up real fast. You might hear somebody
Right.
singing it speeded up in the
Right.
background. He started that to get sample clearance for things he couldn't get sample clearance
Oh,
for.
I
He would
didn't
just
know
speed
that.
it up.
Okay. Because if you can't
Yeah,
recognize it, you could use it. Okay.
you can use
All
it.
right.
He started
Yeah.
that. And
Yeah, because
remember
it's all
Dipset, yeah, when you listen to the Dipset album, that's all they did. But remember, Kanye was making beats for them back then. So
Okay.
when you
That's the
listen to their
influence.
early music, yeah, Kanye was making their music. So it's gotta evolve, man. It's gotta move on. It's gotta get to a point where something different's gotta come along or to get stale, it'll die. Like
Well,
that's what happened to
I agree
disco.
with you. I agree with you, Stu. Certainly, it's going to move. It's going to evolve like everything else does. But I can feel confident and I feel good of knowing that when I was in the time, you have some true pioneers. From
Oh
Public
yeah.
Enemy to
Oh, 100%.
Public Enemy to Tribe Called Quest, and I can sit back and say that. I don't know if these young cats can say that. I don't know if they could like pull out someone from their thing that has the same significance of the people that we had. And there's nothing wrong with
No,
that. I'm just saying that
no, not at all.
They don't
nothing
see
wrong with
hip
Not at
that.
hop
all.
in that way, though. They don't
That's it.
see
Yeah.
it as a
Yeah.
culture to further. They just see it as this is kind of the music we like. It's
Yeah.
kind of
You
sounds
know
how
what
we
I you
like.
know what I wish? I just wish that they would do like when you talk about rock and roll,
Mhm.
nobody disses Led Zeppelin. They're too old. Nobody
Ah,
disses
good one,
Aerosmith. Oh, they're
Stu.
too
Yeah.
old.
Right, right, right,
Nobody
right.
nobody says nobody says Creed. Oh, they're washed up. But when you bring out a rap, when you say, "Hey man, how's the LL dropped the album? LL, how old is he now? Oh, he old man. He old. Well,
Right,
he too old. He too.
right.
No, he still put it. Listen, I tell my boys just like good music is good music. I don't give a
Yeah.
damn who put it out. I can listen to KRS One, Boogie Down Productions, Criminal
Yes,
Minded
sir, man.
right now.
Oh
It's just
yeah.
as good to me now.
Correct.
This is no lie.
Yeah, man.
It is just as good to me now as it was the first time I ever heard it.
Of
Wow.
And
course,
I
You're
can,
saying
and
a
I've been
lot,
listening.
man.
of
I've been
You're
course.
listening to that
saying a
album
lot,
since
man.
I've been listening to that album since
Yeah.
'86.
Yeah.
From '86 to 2024, that album
Mhm.
still hits me hard. Like it does
Yeah,
it for me. Like that album right there. You could put that on. I could jam to that
so
all
many.
day and don't even. Yeah,
Oh,
I
the
bought
purple
I
tape
bought every version you
is
could
one of
think
those.
of. Purple
Yeah,
Tape was another one. You put that on, I'm like, damn,
Illmatic,
what? Illmatic
Ready
was
to
another,
Die.
and I'm gonna
Well,
be honest, I didn't like Illmatic when I first heard it. I'm
Oh,
gonna keep it a book. I didn't. Wait, hear me out. Hear
slow
me
down.
out. Hear me
That's
out.
the Reno's
Hear
out
me
for the
out.
night, man.
A friend of mine, listen, a friend of mine, like I say
break this
maybe
down. Explain this to me.
10 years later, maybe 10 years after it came out, a friend of mine, man, I'm in the car with him. We drinking 40s, we driving, and he
Uh-huh.
put that joint in.
There you go.
And I was like, yo, you know what it is? I never sat down and got into it.
Okay.
But he was like, yo, He was like, man, this is bump. This is my favorite album by. I
Yeah,
started listening to it,
man.
man. We drinking, I'm listening. And
Yeah.
what Reno said, his son told him about the music. I agree with I agree with Blaze on that because I'm gonna tell you why. It ain't just his generation, it's every generation. I didn't vibe to it. Once I
Mhm.
started vibing to it, I was like, oh, this album is hot. I was like, wait a
Uh-huh.
minute. I like this joint. And I remember
Yeah.
But you're
Nas
right.
made a statement. He
If you
said,
don't,
look, if you don't vibe to it, you can't get it. And I remember Nas said it because he would never do an interview with Vlad. And Vlad called him a bad beat picker. He would always try to provoke Nas to get him on the show. Nas
Mhm.
never came on the show. And Nas said, listen, if you don't like any of my albums, they weren't for you at that time. Go
Right.
back and listen to them. And then
Yeah,
tell
yeah.
me, go back now and listen to it. Because if you didn't like it, then go. And I did that. I did that. I went back and listened to every Nas album. And listen, I'm gonna keep it a buck. I like them better now than I did when they first came out.
Wow,
I
yeah.
thought they were, to me, they were hotter. I was like, yo,
Yeah,
like
you
he was
appreciate it
right.
more
It
now.
wasn't
Yeah.
for me. I appreciate
yeah,
way
yeah,
more,
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
way more, bro.
Well,
That's
Way
let
how
me
I
a-
more,
feel
man.
about some of the
Mhm.
'80s rappers and shit like that.
Mhm.
That I heard as a little kid, but didn't really get into yet. And then I go back now and listen to them. It's like, yo, that shit, like, cause I was a
Yeah, you
little
like,
kid, bro. I was born in '79, so I was 10, 11 by the turn of the century. By 89, 90, I was like 11. I was still a little kid. So,
Mhm.
'80s rappers to me was like that shit that sparked my interest and gave me the passion. But it wasn't till later that I went back and
Yeah.
really listened to the music,
Mhm.
from that time, man. And yeah.
Well, let me ask you something because I'm not really, the new music I gotta kind of get accustomed to. But there's one thing I could say, especially about in particular, like the Tribe Called Quest. I was listening to Low End Theory the other day, right?
Uh-huh.
If you listen to that album from beginning to end, they were very calculated the way Q-Tip put what jams and
Oh
put
yeah.
together. Are they doing
Right.
that now? Are they making
No,
albums now where they are
no, no, no,
conscious
no.
of, okay, the first jam's going to be this? Wow, that's saying
They're
a lot.
barely even making albums, really. They just
Oh
worry about
wow.
songs. It's just
Okay.
song, song, song.
yeah, depending on the
Albums more
artist,
of
yeah,
like a
depending,
compilation of songs. They're
Gotcha.
like mixtape.
Okay. Like
But
singles.
depending on the artist, like
yeah,
Stu said, yeah. But
depending
but
on the
some of these
artist, yeah,
new like
because
these
you
TikTok
listen to
rappers, the
like,
young guys,
yeah,
the real young kids,
go
the real
listen
young
to
rappers, they're
go
not
listen to
building
Rome
albums.
Streets, go check out Rome Streets, check out
Those are
Etho,
older dudes,
check out
yeah.
Rock Marciano,
Right.
check out everybody know Griselda. Check out Boldly James. Check
Mhm.
out a rapper called Boldly James
Mhm.
Flea
and listen
Lord,
to his music. Flea Lord is hot, and Flea Lord get a lot of props from a lot of people in New York. But I'm gonna tell you something about New York rappers right now. No, really, most of the hot rappers right now are not coming out of New York City. They're in the Northeast. They're coming out of upstate New York.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Um, most of the rappers you hear that are coming, they're coming from upstate.
Mhm.
Um, you like, dang, these guys were upstate all this time, and
Yeah.
even West Side Gun, he was on an interview, and he walked off an interview and dissed the guy and told him because the guy tried to say his music sound like old school music, and he said no. They said that's just the way it come out. I'm from the East Coast. He's like, I'd be a fool and sell myself out if I tried to sound like some of these guys from the South. I'm not from the South. I'm
Right.
from New York. When I make it, this how I come out.
Yeah.
And the producer he uses is Conductor. Conductor is one of the hottest beat makers right now out
Mhm.
there. Um, but him and Conductor hook up, it's like magic, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Okay.
I don't know how they hooked up, but however they hooked up, they better keep doing it
Mhm.
because
but like
West Side ain't dropped a bad one yet.
the way Biggie took Ready to Die and started
Right.
it out with a drug dealer, starting out his business and ended it by the time you follow this drug dealer's life as the album goes on. And by the end of it, he's
Yeah,
so disgusted with himself, he kills himself. And it's a
yeah,
story. Ready
Right.
to Die, the album,
yeah.
it's a fucking
Ready to Die is
story.
a story.
Right.
For me,
Yeah,
like
it
albums
is.
back in the day, if I couldn't put your tape on, and I fucked with tapes until like 2000. I was on tapes until like the year 2000. I was fucking with tapes all through 9. I fuck with CDs because they got scratched and I was too rough with my shit. But yes, if I couldn't put your tape on and just play that shit without having to fast forward and rewind nothing, then I don't fuck with you.
Yeah. See, that's
Like you got to have a whole album for me. And yeah, there might be
no.
a track or two that aren't my favorite, but if I have to skip them because it's bad, then you didn't make an album.
See, but that's what happens, Reno, with technology, right? Like if you remember back in the day when you only had LPs and vinyl, right? You listened to an album,
Right.
you put the shit from the beginning, and you had to, if you didn't want to hear the next jam, you had to get up and do it. But a lot of people did not. They just stayed and listened. And through
Yeah.
time, they learned to appreciate some of those
Appreciate
things.
album cuts, right?
But what you're saying is that
Yeah,
right
yeah.
now, though, with the age of instant gratification, you don't even have to get up. You can just talk to your phone, play blah blah
And that-
blah, and it'll do it. So there
And
is
that's why
something
every
See
about-
that now? See,
and
I don't
every
do
song
that.
has to
I
be
don't
a
play
hit.
no
And
music.
no one's
Yeah.
making album
I don't
cuts.
play
Every
the-
song
yeah,
has to be a hit.
Nah, it's be a hit. Yeah, I don't listen to music on my phone. I rarely even stream music.
Right.
I buy all my music physically. I got it loaded on a hard drive, and I listen to it in my car. I listen to it on my
Nice.
MP3. I don't put no
Do
music
you,
on the
but
phone.
do you listen to albums throughout? Like, do you put on, you
Yeah.
know, a certain and listen throughout?
I just
Okay.
listened to I just listened to DJ Muggs just dropped the album.
Mhm.
I just listened to it Monday when I took a walk. I walked 5 miles. I listened to the album, and
Cool.
it was dope, man. Listen,
Cool.
I just listened to
DJ
Asiatic by AZ yesterday. That's one of my favorite albums right there. AZ is in my top 3.
Wow.
Like
Okay,
like
so
a lot of
you-
people don't talk about AZ. He's super underrated.
Mhm.
You better listen to him.
Wow. All right.
And for me, it's Ghostface, and AZ, and Nas.
Okay. What
Yeah.
about albums? Give me the top 3, and then you too, Stu. Give me the
Oh,
top 3. In other words, I'm talking like
Supreme
right now, your house
Clientele.
is burning. Your house is burning, and you got to say
Yeah.
3 albums that you're gonna
Right.
run out of the house with. What are they
Oh.
gonna
Did I
be?
remember that?
You tell
I
me.
gotta get
Wow,
Supreme
you know,
that's
Clientele.
hard.
I gotta grab Supreme Clientele, and they might even I gotta get Supreme Clientele.
Okay,
I gotta
one.
get the Purple Tape
Okay.
and Illmatic, and I'm gone.
Wow, man. Okay. That's it.
Mm,
What about you, Stu?
wow.
You got to grab them
Man.
quick.
But that's because it's only 3.
you
If
know
I
what?
had 5, them other 2 are AZ joints. I need
Okay.
Asiatic and Do or Die. But go ahead.
Yeah, AZ
Okay.
is so underrated. Corey Adger. You know what, man? I'm a cheat. I'm just gonna go snatch my hard drive off of the computer and run out the house.
Nah,
It's
you
got my
can't
whole
do
record
that.
collection on. I'm rolling. But I got everything, baby. I got it all. I can put it back on
You got the
CD. I can do
CD.
what I gotta do. I digitized my whole collection. Now, if I had to,
Nice.
if it was 3,
If you
okay.
had to
If I was
grab
stuck,
3
let's say
albums.
I'm stuck on the island, and the 3 albums that
That's
made it through the plane crash
Uh-huh.
with the CD player,
Okay.
it would be Criminal Minded.
Nice. BDP. All
But
right.
but I would have to have
I
a
knew
Man
it.
in His Music version, because Man in His
Wow.
Music is it's just cut up. I like to cut and scratch. So
Okay.
I would say Criminal Minded, Man in His Music version. I would have to say Wu-Tang's first album. I'd say their first album,
Okay.
and I would have to go with last but not least, man. But I would have to go with damn, it's a hard one, man. 'Cause I got so many in my head, man.
Yeah.
There's so
no,
many
I
in my
hear you.
head. But
I hear you.
I would just have to go with a straight mixtape. Just give me a mixtape.
Okay.
Give me a
You get a little
mixtape.
flavor of everything.
Just give me,
you know?
yeah. Just give me
That's a
give me a
cop-out.
straight mixtape.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, give me DJ Clue. Give me DJ Clue's first mixtape, volume
All
1,
right.
his first production one. Give me that.
All
I'm
right.
good. I'm good for the rest. I'm good. I can survive for a while.
Corey
What
agrees
Corey
with
said?
Criminal Minded. Yeah,
Nice.
Criminal Minded, In Control, Volume 1, and Long Live the King.
Wow, man. All right.
I could tell y'all are a little older than me. See how
Yeah,
you
right,
see
right.
how we see what we chose? But
right.
see, it's what you were listening to at a certain age. That's what you
Time,
took
yeah.
with you.
Correct. Correct.
I mean,
Correct.
yeah.
I just like albums
I mean,
that are all together.
But what about you,
really.
Ed? What's your 3? What's your 3?
Yeah, yeah, what's your favorite? What's
No,
your
no,
three?
let's change the subject, man. I don't want to talk.
No, I
about
need your
that.
3. Come on now.
no.
You don't want to.
You
don't wanna be
take the hard
judged.
drive. Yeah,
All
if I
right.
can't take the hard drive, you got to pick 3. If I can't just unplug the hard
All right,
drive,
all right.
you got to pick 3.
Well, certainly Fear of a Black Planet, Public Enemy, no doubt about it.
Nice.
Okay.
Third Base, the Cactus
Okay.
album.
Okay.
Wow.
If you guys are with that, man, that's like one of my favorites.
That's a
I
dope
know
album.
it.
That was a dope album.
Yeah.
That was a dope album.
Yep. And Low End Theory, Tribe Called Quest. I mean, I still to
That's-
this day listen to it once a month. You know.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
exactly.
just, I mean, Fight
You got
Club is one of my
a
top 3. So.
award tour on there,
Mm.
Electric Relaxation.
Mhm.
Or that's
Jazz,
Midnight
No,
Marauders.
that's not the.
Midnight
You got
Marauders.
Butter.
You
Low
got-
End Theory,
yeah.
that's Jazz we
That's
got.
Midnight Marauders. You got
That's Jazz we got. That's Scenario. All of
Scenario.
that,
That's
all
how
of
they
that
ended
stuff.
with it.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, they ended it with. Now I like the remix better than the original version. But
See,
okay,
I
I like
like Midnight
I like the
Marauders.
remix
Is my
better.
favorite.
Okay.
my favorite Tribe album is Midnight Marauders for sure.
Man.
A lot of people, and to keep it above, a lot of people did like that. A lot of people, but I think
It
Low and
came a
Third was
little
the best
later, and I
album.
was a little younger. I was a
Yeah,
little older when that came out. When Midnight Marauders came out, that shit was perfect. That shit was right on time. Award
Speaking of,
tour, electric relaxation.
I mean, it's
a
a
lot
shame
of
we
people
got to
would
get
agree
some
with you.
EPM there. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Sue.
Yeah, a lot of people agree with you. Now,
Mhm.
I would now if I I would take some EPMD with me because I like every album they ever
Yeah,
made. They never dropped
that's
a
what I was
bad
gonna
album
say.
ever.
Yeah, that's
They
what I
Yeah,
was
never
gonna
dropped
say.
a
It's
bad
hard
album
not
ever.
to include them. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's
right.
hard
Yeah,
not to.
I almost said them.
What
Yeah.
what album was Love Gonna Get You on from BDP? Was that Criminal Minded or no?
Edutainment. That was Edutainment.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Because Love
Boogie
Gonna
Yeah,
Get You.
down.
Man.
Edutainment.
All right,
Yeah,
that'll be the next
Edutainment.
question for the next time. Come on, if I'm invited back on, is give me that one song. Now you're gonna probably have to ring your noodle on that one, man. You know.
What is it?
Give me just one jam. The one jam. Aliens come down and they want to know what hip hop is all
Oh,
about, and you got to
right.
give them one song for them to take back to their planet. No, it's going to take too long for you to think about because it's got to be something that they're going to feel what hip hop's about, and it's something that's going to make them move.
I already know what I'm gonna give them because I got a favorite song.
Wow, Reno, that quick?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Mm.
All right, got to hear this one. Go ahead.
Mighty Healthy, Ghostface Killer,
Oh
off
wow,
Supreme
man.
Clientele. It got the
All right.
boom bap beat. It
Yeah, yeah,
starts off, comes hard. It just both hands cut, yo. It just,
yeah,
yo.
Yeah.
Oh my god. It just hits, man. I don't know. That's for me the
I would give him.
quintessential. But
I
that's
would give
that's
him
when I
Bridges
that's my
over.
era. That's later.
And I give him Bridges over my Karis one. I'm like, just
wow.
listen to this. You'll be all right.
It's
Listen to this.
over
You'll be
here.
all right. Go
That
back to outer
Yeah,
space. You're gonna be all
yeah.
right.
nice, man. All right.
The
That's
bridge is over.
I
The
ain't
bridge
really
is
All right.
over.
But about the bridge is over. Oh man, yeah,
Yeah.
that was fresh, man. Every
I,
month something was coming out during that era, man. You know, the
mm-hmm.
bridge is over. The MC Shan, and you had
Yep.
yeah,
yeah,
Shan. The Juice
yep,
Juice
Crew.
Crew.
I mean,
yep.
because
Yeah.
you gotta remember these guys. You gotta remember these guys were starving. They were talented. They had a
Right.
lot of ideas in their head, and they had a lot of creative freedom. Um, because you got to remember, like, look, back in the day, there were these
These kids
cigar
are rich
chomping
out of the
guys
gate.
sitting. Yeah, these
Social media,
cigar
they get
chomping
rich
guys.
instantly off their music.
They're sitting in the office. You guys come in, Reno, you and Eddie come in with some music, and the guy says, I don't know what it is. Let's just put it out and see what it does. There was a lot of experimental music that made it through the net from like 1970 up until like early 2000. But now you got these hip young guys wearing tight pants that think they know everything about music. And there's a lot of experimental music that doesn't get out because they want to put out a certain sound and there's a certain sound stuck in their head. And that's all
Mhm,
they want to listen to.
mhm,
We need that experimental music on every genre to get out. It
mhm.
doesn't just have to be rap. It has to be every genre. Diamond Onyx, salute. It has to be every genre because, like I said, those cigar chopping guys, they didn't know what it was. It was like, we don't
Mhm.
know it. Just put it out and see what it does.
Man, good
I
point.
listened to DJ Mugg say that one time. He said, look, we put it out. He said, look, my motto is put it out, see what it does. And that's what it is.
Right.
And that's what it is. Yes, Dirty Harry. Yeah, I'll take a Dirty Harry mixtape. And now we don't have that. These guys don't do that. These guys now, record company now, record execs now, they want a
Mhm.
certain sound because they want their money back. They want what's gonna sell. They want to, like Reno said, they want to make millions. They want hits.
Okay.
They don't want albums. They don't want some. They want hits. You could have the best song in the world, and we'll never get to hear it because they won't put it out. They'd be like, nah, it's all right. Put it on the shelf. Let's see what we'll put it out later when there's nothing out.
Yo, Eddie,
So
Yes, sir.
tell. All right, so where can we get End of Zed on the Kickstarter? It's out there right now, right?
Yeah, it just came out today. So yeah, man, exciting day, man. You're my third show. One more show after this one. I'm gonna hit up to Written Ralph show, Bite New York, who has been super supportive as well too. I got to tell you, man, this community has been so supportive, man. They see something good, and they want you to succeed, and so I really appreciate that. So yeah, it's live
Yeah.
on Kickstarter. It just came out live today, and yeah, no, the rewards are great, and I really think you're gonna enjoy the journey that this is going to bring you on. And yes, my website here, you can actually still get the free comic sign up too. So you
Let
can
me
do
play
that.
this. Check this out.
Yeah,
Can I
sure.
think I can play this? Yeah, here we go. Y'all can hear it.
My name is Eddie Lima, and I'm the creator of ZED.
a project I've been working on for years. The story follows a robot who crash lands in the Bronx in 1982, severely damaged and with no memory, as he navigates one of the city's most turbulent times, shaped by the rise of the crack epidemic. He also discovers the powerful, positive force of hip hop. Where? Party people, are we ready? 3, 2. That isn't just another comic. Rebellious energy of New York City with a gripping dystopian narrative. This story delivers visually striking action and powerful themes. If you're into bold, unapologetic storytelling, then the end of Zed is for you. By backing this project, you're not only helping bring Zed's story to life, but you'll gain access to exclusive rewards. I can't wait for all of you to experience that world. Back my project today and become part of this amazing journey.
Yo, when I seen the Bronx 1982, that's what drew me to the comics. So I hear you about reaching that broader audience, but I'm so glad that you put that in there, because if you didn't, I would have never met you.
Oh, okay.
That's a fact. If I didn't see that Bronx 1982, I wouldn't have been like, oh, is this a hip hop comic? And then checked it out.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it wouldn't have caught me. It wouldn't have caught me. But that being said, the artwork is phenomenal. Can I ask you who's doing the art?
Yeah, so I'm not a sequential artist. I'm just a still artist, we'll call it. The sequential artists get much respect to them, man. They are amazing. And it took me a long time to find the artists. They were actually from Brazil. The main artist and inker is called Lucas Assis, and he's from Brazil. And then we have a colorist called G Saboni, and he is the colorist. And it had to be very important, man. The person who dealt with the artwork, and particularly with colors, they had to be very sensitive to that, because this story takes place all in one night. All 4 episodes are going to take place in one night. So night scene's going to be really a big deal. So colors had to be a big deal to me, as well as the lighting for it. So that's the reason why we went ahead with another artist to do it. And again, think Wild Robot meets the Warriors, which is basically the way it's described, man. If you remember the vibe of the Warriors, man.
Dope.
Oh yeah,
it's Wild Robot meets the Warriors, and really a lot of it's about programs, like we spoke about before. Reno, it's about programming, about what we see, and in his case, he's got a computer that kind of tells him what he sees in front of him, but then he's got to make his own decisions. So a lot of it's like how we're manipulated too by maybe what our parents tell us. What media tells us about certain things in certain environments. But when he ends up finding out for real that, though he's in a really bad place, the South Bronx, which was very interesting, by the way, Reno, I got to tell you guys still. When I gave the first 5 pages of the comic out, in the very first page, he lands in a very desolate area. He is no one around and buildings are blown up. And I remember getting emails from people, close to like 4 of them, of people going, this isn't realistic. If he landed in the city, it would never be this desolate. Well, it was.
Wow, they must not know what the Bronx looked like in the 80s.
No, it was.
I'm telling you,
the Bronx looked like a demilitarized
looked like
zone
Baghdad bombed out in the
Exactly.
Yeah, it did.
Exactly. It looked like something out of Beirut or something that was bombed,
Yeah, it did.
So,
it did.
But that really gave me the incentive and the drive to make this, man, because it's like, if you don't know that about the history of the Bronx, well, let me teach you. Yes, it was like that. Charlotte Avenue for like 5-6 blocks was exactly like this desolate area. So to have him land in such a place like this, and then with the crack epidemic going on, but then he sees contrast that with hip hop and how it gives him the powers. It's really the story I want to tell, because it has a lot to do with me. And so that is the connection that I wanted to make sure that people kind of connected with. And so far, so good, man. People are digging it. People are getting it. People have downloaded the 5 pages. As you can see from the Kickstarter, people are already buying into it. So yeah, it's going to be exciting. I really want to get the whole thing going. When you finish seeing the 4 episodes and the 4 things, you're going to really see how it comes together. Really exciting. A lot of twists, more things about New York City history and so forth. So it's really dope. Really dope,
man. So here you are with DMC. I say, look who's down with the king. Can y'all see that?
Yep.
Yeah.
So you're, I mean, just so everybody knows, you're an artist. Like you do graffiti and stuff, right?
Right. Yeah, if you look at that Harrow cover here, I actually did the tag right there that you see that says "End of Zed." You'll
Oh
see it at
wow.
the end of this. So what I did
Yeah,
was with this variant cover, I wanted to do my graffiti art with him because he has a really dope aesthetic with how he rendered Zed. And right now, actually, my Kickstarter, I did
yes,
two things. One, and you could actually see it on my website. I did two things. One, I let those that they had a line tag, they could send it to me, and I could put it in the comic book. So I got close to 11 people now that sent me their tags,
right,
and I'm actually placing them in the comic, which is dope because it makes it authentic. But one of my packages
yeah.
for the
Mm.
Kickstarter is, it's a lot, but it's certainly a couple people are going to do it. Where for $250, I'm actually create a burner for you, a tag that's going to be actually in the comic, like on the subway or on the wall, and
That's what I
that's
was gonna
exciting.
say. I don't think people, yeah, like y'all realize like he's literally gonna let you tag on a wall in the
Correct.
comic, so that shit's gonna show up in the
Correct.
comic, like on a train on a wall. That's
Yep.
that's so
Yep.
dope,
And
bro.
it'll be
That's
prominent
what
too,
drew me
man.
in. That's what really. That's another thing drew me in and wanted me to that made me want to talk to you because that is like a really interactive and just a cool, real hip hop way to really bring hip hop into the comic.
Sure.
Literally, man, I dig it. I
Yeah,
dig it.
and it makes it authentic, right? It makes it
Yes,
authentic. People can have their joints in there. So yeah. So no, this
yes,
has been some project. It's in the beginning. I was a little, anxious. How's the story going to go along with people?
right.
But as this thing started generating, I started creating
Well,
a group and an audience that's doing it, man. It's going to get somewhere. I'm getting excited about
I think so. I agree, and uh, I know a lot of indie artists and stuff like that, indie comic creators and everything, and for me, comics are a visual medium. First of all, if I want to read a book, I'll read a book, and I get that. And I love indie comics because especially you get a lot of great writers with indie comics. What you tend to not get is great art
it.
sometimes.
Yeah, good point.
A lot of indie comics skimp on the art.
Yeah,
And I know it's because it's expensive as fuck
yeah,
to pay an
Yeah,
artist,
it is.
or you have to be wildly talented to be able to really do a whole comic. Just because you can draw a picture doesn't mean you can do a comic.
correct,
That's
correct.
true.
And
That's
then you
correct.
and you and you s- and you made that point a minute ago too.
Mhm,
You're a still artist, right? That's a
mhm.
very different thing than a sequential artist. And so
Correct.
people don't know, but man, the art is so important. And I don't think a lot of indie creators grasp how important because it's almost like with a song, you can have the dopest lyrics on the planet, but if that beat ain't hitting, no one's gonna give a shit.
Yeah,
No
good
one's gonna
point.
see it. And
Great point.
the art is like the beat. And of course,
Sure.
the words are the lyrics. So yeah, man, you really hitting it, man, with I think in all
Yeah. Well,
aspects.
Well, I tell you, Reno, that's why it took such a long time to get it done because I just didn't hand
Mhm.
them the script, right? Because this actually started off as a movie screenplay first, and then I had to transfer it
Mm.
over into a comic strip. But then I actually drew every panel in terms of the way I wanted to see it because I saw it visually like a movie. So that was hard to do because it's like sometimes other artists just, they'll ask for the script and that's all they want. But in my case, I knew exactly the vision in my head had to be important. Like that first scene here, when it
Mhm.
comes down and the spaceship lands, you see the silhouette of the trade centers right off the bat, especially people from New York. You see that cityscape, emotions start stirring, and you start
Right.
remembering the time. You start, wow, okay, this right off the bat, I know this is '82. And then, of course, yeah, be landing in an area that's so desolate like that, and it's so funny again. People like, you're not accurate, dude. How the hell could he land in the city and be like that? Well, yeah, it was exactly like that.
That's why
And
where we was, yeah.
yes, sir. So again, I always appreciated your support, Reno, right from day one, man. Right from the day we met, you always,
Yeah.
help me with stories and help me connect with people. So really, I
That's
can't thank you enough. Can't thank you
I'm
enough.
glad. Yeah. Hey, my pleasure, man. Because like I said, I dig it. Like I'm excited to read it. Like I can't wait. We interview a lot of people and a lot of artists, a lot of indie creators and stuff like that. And a lot of them are incredible, and a lot of them I love to read and stuff. Some of them I can't get excited about, but man, I'm really excited about this one.
Yeah, cool.
And
Yeah,
another one that I'm super excited about that has been on our show, man. I just want to shout out to Crazy Visions Comics, man, the Mad Trapper. They have an amazing comic as well. That's absolutely hip hop based,
nice.
just total hip hop uh goodness. They've been on our show a few times, and their comic is definitely more of a funny comic. But just as super duper hip hop. I mean, you got the golden mic and all of this that they're trying to obtain, and it's just
Oh, nice, man.
and again the art is
Yeah.
incredible. So I dug it, right off the bat. The art was great,
Where
and
can you pick that up at? Is that on Kickstarter or is it on?
no, they're already out.
Distributed?
It's Crazy Visions Comics.
Okay.
Yeah, they I think I got their tag. I might have it right here, but yeah,
Yeah, we haven't seen them in a while. They usually pop in every
I haven't
now
seen
and
them in a
then.
minute. Yeah, they haven't been on in a minute.
Yeah, we ain't
I
seen them in
know.
a good minute. Yeah, yeah.
Who else came on our show? Shout out to Pharaoh Monch, who came on our show, and we got to interview Pharaoh Monch, and this was his comic. He sent me the autograph joint.
Yeah,
but that's his joint. Kill, kill, kill. I was a big fan of Pharaoh Monch too, and when I was younger, like early 90s. But and then of course Ghostface got his comic that he put out, 12 Reasons to Die.
Yep.
So I mean, hip hop guys, hip hop and comics, man. I'm telling y'all, it's the future. It's the future. I'm telling y'all, it's the future. But yeah, man, I really appreciate you coming on, man. It was awesome having you, and absolutely, you're invited back anytime.
Appreciate that. Yeah. Well, hopefully I didn't go off in a tangent talking about music, man. I was like, these guys may not have me back because I'm talking too much about music, man.
Man, nah, I'm glad.
I listen
was
to
awesome.
music. Listen, Eddie. I listen to music all day. How most people watch TV, that's how I listen to music. I listen to music all day, every day, twice on Sundays. I'm eclectic, so I listen to a lot of different music.
That's me,
and that's just me. That's my music is my life. I'm gonna keep it. It means everything to me.
Yeah,
and that's how I get down. Like I said, I own a physical collection of music. I pull out a tape collection right now that'll blow your mind. CD collection, mixtapes. I'm just into hip hop. I'm into it.
Well, listen, the next show, again, if I'm invited back, next show I want to talk about how do we get through to our kids music that we want to make sure they appreciate, because remember, we're talking about individuals we discussed tonight.
I hope y'all got the answer. I hope y'all two got the answer to that, because I don't.
Because there's certain things I wish that
I'm
my
gonna be a fly on the wall in that conversation. I want to know, because some of the stuff I hear my kids listen to, I'm like, is that really hip hop? Yeah, Dad. Like, oh, I guess. Yeah. I just keep it moving, man.
Yeah, I hear you. But thanks again, really. I appreciate this. I've been looking forward to this for the longest time.
I hope you had a good time, man. I hope it was everything that you hoped it would be, man. And like I said, anytime you're welcome back. What we do is like I'm gonna add your email to a little link, and so when we start the show, every show you're gonna get a link just like you got today.
Right.
So at any time that you want to hop in, chime into the convo, hop in as a guest, you're absolutely welcome to pop in anytime.
I appreciate that. I'm honored for that, Reno. I'm honored for that. Really, thank you. Appreciate it.
Word.
But I'll be in contact with you guys. Really, this is again day one, and then the next time you see me, I might not have no hair left, and I'll be all gray because of this experience.
Yeah.
But,
nah, man.
Because you guys really, the people that supported me from day one, those are people that I'll never forget. That I'll never forget.
Bro, always. Yeah, man. Anytime. And you guys, we're here every Wednesday, every Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So check us out. If you guys are new to the show, hit the like button, subscribe, all of that good stuff. You know what it is. Leave a comment too. That helps us out a lot. So yeah, man, guys, have a good week. Be safe. You know what I'm saying? Love each other. We'll see you guys Saturday. And y'all know what it is. Peace.
Peace.
Take care.